psychic intellect and made you my puppet.
It's a bullseye! And here's your host, Jim Boyd!
Perhaps today is a good day to die. Prepare for running speed!
Sir, there's another starship coming in. It's the Enterprise.
Bone, your shoulder bone connected to your neck bone connected to your head bone. Now hear the word of the Lord. Them bones gonna walk around.
Take a base of action. Green group, skip across the holding sector and each other.
Admiral, we have enemy ships in Sector 47.
It's a trap.
.007 Triple X.
Bond, what do you think you're doing?
Keeping the British end up, sir.
Nobody does.
Sorry if I scared you. You'll like this bit.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Good evening, good morning. Well, wherever you are, though. Good evening, good morning. Hello, wherever you are. This is a bit of a chill stream today, right? We are in a bit of a chill stream mode. Sunday afternoon. Put your feet up, ladies and gentlemen. For me, it's 5 o'clock. So for me, this is a weird day, right? Firstly, I woke up. I was just, I couldn't function today. I was like, I was up too late talking about Doctor. I didn't get to bed till about 1, and I got up. And then the dog was barking, woke me up in the middle of the night. And then I got up at like 6. So I was like, I can't do any work. I'm a zombie, right? I really was a zombie. I was like, maybe I'll do a chill stream this afternoon. Because tonight at 7:30 is the beginning of a Jewish holiday, Shavuot, or Shavuos, depending how you pronounce it, where there are several customs. The first custom is you stay up all night studying. Right, because it said the children of Israel when they were camped around Mount Sinai. Right, this holiday commemorates God appearing at Mount Sinai. Giving essentially the Bible, but bits of it anyway. What was I going to? So for some reason we overslept. Right, and so then we have a tradition of staying up all night. The other tradition is eating dairy, right? In Judaism, you don't mix meat and dairy. So we didn't have the laws of slaughtering at that time, which is a whole legal thing. So Eastern European Jews have the tradition to eat dairy, and we're going to eat a lot of it, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to eat a lot of it. My wife is. There you go. Don't know what happened. My wife is working away right now, putting it all together. Oh, I think I pressed enter button by mistake. It'll suit me. Anyway. So like, I'm not staying up all night. I'll probably get up at about 4 a.m. for the sunrise prayer service, right? Because I've never not gone to that one on this holiday, so I can't make that jump. In Scales of the Panic Rumor is Moffat is writing the Christmas special for Billy, and she'll regenerate at the end. If so, she is a doctor. They've really messed about with regeneration anyway. Well, look, I mean, there's Doctor Who pre-2017, which all fit together and made sense. It was really quite good. And there's Doctor Who post-2017, where it made no sense and was shit. So that was really one of the big questions, right? How can a show that has jumped the shark many times at this point jump it again, and so epically? Let's count the times it jumped the shark. Now, I think you can make a reasonable argument that it did jump the shark in Trial of the Time Lord, right? That was a really embarrassingly bad scene. It was substandard, and I think if Russell Grade saw any of that's the thing that got the show cancelled, right? More than anything else. Not Russell Grade, Michael Grade. It was a really bad showing, and while there are good bits in all those stories, it's still a disaster. Right? And I think I love it to bits, right? I love it to bits, but it's still a disaster if a normie watches it, they go, fuck me. See, that's the thing, right? If somebody can watch it open-mindedly and they go, say something like Kinder or Snake Dance, right? Where they all put the Martin Clunes clip on, right? If you watch that in context, it's brilliant, right? It's a brilliant piece of writing. But, you really can't say that about Trial, right? It's very embarrassingly bad throughout a lot of it, right? Favorite part of is Perry. Yes, strapped down to a beach with buckets of water being thrown over her. Yes. Yes, you did, Mr. Terror Supporter, in the chat there, probably. I'm sorry. I booted him straight away. Okay, that's the first time it jumped the shark. I think the second time it jumped the shark would be, it came really close when, what's his name, regenerated into Tanai Miller. And she's like, oh, thank God I'm not a man anymore. Right? It came close. But I don't think it did, right? I don't think it did for many reasons. But I think next time it jumped the shark was... Well, we couldn't know at the time, but the casting of Jodie Whittaker. But again, we couldn't know at the time. I think a third time it jumped the shark was Rosa. A fourth time it jumped the shark was Arachnids in the UK. A fifth time it jumped the shark was the Battle of Rav Unskilled Kolos. You're getting it jumped the shark a lot. It jumped the shark again with when I think Jump Shark had a new quantum leap of awful, right? So I think everything was reasonably equally awful until you get to Orphan 55, another quantum leap to Jump the Shark. Then Can You Hear Me, right? How many times is that? I can't Jodie Whittaker, Rosa, most racist episode of the critical race theory of the episode. Is it Arachnids in the UK? Yeah. Then the Battle of Rumskull Collar, whatever it was called, that was a particularly awful episode. I don't think you say Can You Hear Me was an essence of it jumping the shark. It was just a very bad episode. Jump the shark means you go to a whole new level of awful, in my mind, right? So then you have Orphan 55. What was that? We're up to 4 so far. Well, 5 including Trial. Orphan 55. Then you have Can You Hear Me? Then you have the Dr. Ruth. Then you have the Timeless Children. Yeah, all these are times. Literally, how many times did it's jumped the shark 7 times in the Jodie Whittaker era. I don't think it jumped the shark after that. Actually, I think it maintained a similar level of quality and actually improved from that point onwards. Right, but 7 times you jump the shark. That's really bad, right? That's really bad. And then the Shooty era. Would you... I would have to say Rogue is the time when it really jumped the shark. I missed out. Star Beast. Okay, Star Beast is another time jumped the shark. Then Rogue. Then the finale, Legend of Ruby Sunday. Well, that was awful. But they were all insanely bad by that point. 73 yards. Can you hear me? They're all bad. Right, and amazingly, it managed to jump the shark again. Incredibly, right? This is not a full stream. This is going to be an hour long. As I got this Jewish holiday starting at 7:30 my time. That's 5:30 your time, right? So I'll go an hour and a half, something like that. Because again, we got a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. There is everything. Okay, let's do the chat first. If I can get the chat on. She cried. Jigger. It's supposed to show when I hit that switch, but only new things is. OT's agent, OT, thank you for joining us. Let me pull up the thumbnail. They've really driven people away, which I think is somewhat the intention, right? I do think that's the intention, to drive people away. like normies, like normal fans away. There's just so much hatred of like normality. You know, we have a lot to be like, how can a shark jump the shark again? Jump the shark over and over again. It's incredible, right? It's incredible. I mean, thank God Shooting Up was gone, right? Thank God. But then we'll get to like what I think is happening. Yeah, Ian Scales here. He says that Moffat is right in the Christmas special. I very much believe that to be highly possible. I think it'll be a 2027 Christmas special at the earliest. I mean, I don't know. It might be 2026, but I think more 2027. We'll talk about that in a minute. Make your favorite part of the Trial of the Time Lord. Problem being said, Edward Bracken here. It sounds like a lot of shite. That's exactly. There's a reason why it sounds like that, because that's what it is. So glad I haven't been watching. Yeah, listen, just stick here. I will tell you what's happening. I'll watch it for you. Because from my point of view, this isn't Doctor Who, right? This is just like some weird thing they did with the Doctor Who logo on it, right? But you enjoy my reviews. Well, there you go. It takes on the situation. Well, there are many situations. Catherine Fears here. I hate to say it, but you liked it. Well, good for you, right? If you don't be ashamed of liking something, right? Me hating it is neither here nor there, and it really isn't, right? I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you like something, that's the be all and end all in my mind. It really, really, genuinely is, right? Yeah, good. Yeah, look, good for you. I don't understand, but you know, you've been in the chat for a long time. I know you're being genuine, Catherine. So fair enough. Rhino's here. Fair play to you, Catherine. Just because most of us they were saying the same thing. Exactly. Dominic is here. What a wacky ending. Billy is the new Doctor or someone else? No, Billy is the this. We'll talk about that in a second. Into the Time was anti-Semitic, and the whole season 2 was sexist, racist. Oh yeah, I missed the Interstellar Song Contest as a moment that it jumped the shark. Look, season 2 was markedly better than season 1. It really, really, genuinely was. I mean, you had some watchable stories, which is a low bar. It's a low bar. Where we are. Rhino. I think it's a low. I'm pretty sure I have. Where are we up to? Fine. Whizzing through the chat. Paul Townsend there, doing George. Note of the statement said when. I'm not sure which statement, but we will come across it, right? Judy Gatwell, if we won't come across it, he'll come over it. Which is, I think, anyway. Look, if you haven't seen it, let's watch this. Actually, you know what? Before we get onto that. Well, maybe we'll watch it shortly. There's a lot about this general situation that I think needs a lot more discussion, right? Before we get into the actual, nitty gritty of it, right? 1 second, just got to send this message. 1 second. Because this is so bizarre. It is such a bizarre choice to make. Look, firstly, I do not think for 1 second that Billie Piper was the first choice, right? I think Billie Piper was... I don't think she was in the first top 5, maybe. I don't know. Look, here's the thing. I think that they have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what they're doing. There's no plan. They've not cast the actual Doctor. Billie Piper is going to be the Doctor for like 1 episode, and I think that will be the 2027 Christmas special. It might be 2026, but I think 2027 Christmas special. I think they're holding back War Between the Land and Sea for 2026, so there's content that year. But I think the 2027 Christmas special is the early, which thank God for that, for many reasons. But I think one of the main reasons is we're going to be living in an entirely different universe there, right? Julianne Goodwin said the whole episode looked like improv. It did, didn't it? Like, it really genuinely did. Because it just lurched from backwards and forwards. Adam Warlock is there. How you doing, Adam Warlock? So, yeah, I don't think they've cast the new Doctor. I don't think they really have a clear plan if they are going to make it. I think probably they are going to make the 8 episodes, but probably on spec, hoping they can sell it. That's my guess. But that's just one man's opinion for you. You know, there are other opinions out there. You know, the BBC says, okay, they're of course there are other, other, shampoos you can use, right? You got to say there are other opinions out there, none finer, and more stealthy, may I say, than our next pundit who is going to come on. And we're going to be doing punditry together, like, oh, you haven't seen it. Might actually go a bit of full frontal punditry, which is going to be weird because it's going to be twixt, the Samaria and Birmingham, those two easily sister cities. It is, of course, Dan Hadley, King of the Geeks. How you doing, Dan?
Oh, I'm suffering, mate. I'm suffering. I don't mind telling you.
I completely hear you. So anyway, I was my take on it thus far. I got to bed about the same time as you. But no, 2 hours later, because it's later for me. Oh, and then I had to get up at 6. It was a nightmare, all right? Absolute nightmare. And then it's a Jewish holiday tonight where he stays up all night. I'm not doing that. Anyway, do you think they have do you think they even have a short list for the new Doctor yet?
Probably.
You think? I don't know. Probably. I think they have no plan whatsoever. I think this was an act. I think it was exactly what it seems to be, an act of pure and total desperation, right? Given that Shooting Atwood did not work out, and they just look. If they regenerated to black, it would have been disastrous for them. And they needed a stupid, crazy stunt. I mean, I don't know.
I haven't had much of a chance to look at social media or to see what people are saying this morning. But I would imagine that some of them I would hope that the people in this sort of corner to the fandom have remembered the stuff that I've been saying for months. That this is none of this was planned. They were proper up shit creek, and yes, they hit up Billy Piper for however long.
I mean, again, I wonder what number she was on the list. It's like she wasn't number one. Now, let's be clear. I think probably Helena Bonham Carter was number one, right? I think they wanted an international movie star, or something like that will make everybody go, "Wow!"
The only name that I've heard in association with it was what's her name? Olivia Colman again.
Really?
Yeah.
That actually wouldn't have worked at all.
I can't substantiate that. That's just something that was whispered to me, but I've not been able to track it back to anything that I would. I can imagine that would probably do that. Because obviously the profile that she's got, and I think we're not at the place where everything that she touches turns to gold anymore. But I can see why they would do that. But I mean, I don't know how. I'm just exhausted by it all. I'm exhausted by Doctor Who generally.
Yes, I am really glad it's done.
It gives us nothing back, mate.
Right. I'm glad we're done for a good couple of years. Do you think we'll be seeing it Christmas special 2026 or 2027?
2027.
That's what I think too. I don't think there's.
They could throw something together between now and Christmas. Feasibly, but again, I think they need a plan to try and sell to a streamer, right? I think they're gonna, if they don't get a streamer to sign on, they're gonna just fill them on spec. That's where they're focused. Their energies are focused at the moment, trying to secure a long-term future for the show. And when people in TV speak about long-term future, in the fandom, we think of long-term future as 5 to 10 years. Lots of guaranteed Doctor Who, ideally until long after we're brown bread. We want to see Doctor Who continue for longer than we do.
They think 2 years.
In their terms, they think 3 to 4 years at the most. It's a
3 to 4 years. That's crazy long. But again, your channel, may I say mine as well? If I toot my own horn, she cried. Predicted this. Let me see if I can find the thumbnail. Let me find the Billy Piper thumbnail. Because it was, well, we all heard the rumor, but it was just such a ridiculous rumor. Right?
We are long past the place now where when a few options are laid before us, we know that where the BBC are concerned, where Russell T Davies is concerned, if we pick the most ridiculous one, it'll be that.
Yeah, we really are. I mean, like, we should have got a clue from the Time Show. Before you came on, I was trying to work out how many times Doctor Who has jumped the shark, and I got it like 8 or 9 times, and they were apart from Trial of the Time Lord, they're all after Jodie. And it's literally jumped the shark about 9 times.
I wouldn't include anything before. I'd say the first time it truly jumped the shark, if I'm honest, and trying to be objective, was the episode It Takes You Away.
I didn't put that on my list of jumping the sharks. My jumping sharks episode was casting Jodie Whittaker, even though we didn't know it at the time. Rosa, pure undiluted racism.
That's just bad television.
In the UK. What?
That's just bad television, though, isn't it? It's not the same as
no. For me, I say jump the shark is when they reach a new nadir of utter shite. How they go to a new level of awful. Right?
To me, when something jumps the shark, it needs to fracture to rip away any kind of investment that you can have with what's on screen, to the point where the illusion of it being a TV show and a fiction that one can invest in, you get torn out of that moment. And bad television doesn't make me do that, because I can turn over. But I think, yes, that's why I always say that It Takes You Away, even though that's not the worst episode of that season, astonishingly.
Basically, no.
And its subject matter and its presentation and what it was trying to say was so ludicrous, and the way that it was saying it was so absurd and malformed that you just, which arsehole thought this up, and you feel yourself being ripped out of the moment. The second time was The Timeless Children, and I'd say this now is
this episode had so many moments that ripped you out in the narrative, and you went, what? Like, firstly, again, I think it's really important to focus on how Russell T Davies believes, marriage and children is the most evil thing in the world, right? It's like, it's such the inverse of reality. And it's like, I understand, Russell, for you, it's not really an option, but like, for 98%, 97% of the world, right, marriage and children makes them happier, right? Long-term commitment. Yeah, the idea that this is a repressive regime, I think was disgusting. I thought the presentation of Omega was like epically awful. I was like, when we saw that fake one, it was better than the real one, right? The giant crab monster, way better than this.
I haven't got a problem with this in theory. I haven't, and the notion, I haven't got a problem with this necessarily. But of course, my issue with it is that it built up and built up and built up. This creature breaks out, and then the whole thing just goes literally nowhere. The Doctor whips out his magic supersonic laser cannon thing and shoots him full in the face. I call it the
proton pack from Ghostbusters.
It's just a nothing thing, and it's just a bog monster from some hellscape. So why sully the name of Omega with this? Was this just because it was something that the Rani could invent? Well, the Rani could have come up with any one of a number of things. It didn't need to be Omega. Only the old fans know of Omega. The other people,
I think what's going on here is very similar to what happened with mainstream comics, that the people creating them actively didn't want their audience. And so they would take iconic things from that they loved and they would destroy them, right? And I think that's what's going on here. Look, again, that Russell T Davies thinks that the his army of outsiders and rebels are the good ones, right? They're not. They're the worst people that we've ever met. Oh, here, let me give you a great example. This is the woman heading the Democrat Party in America. The left in general has realized that men are not really interested in what they're selling, right? So there's a big outreach to especially younger men, in that world. Here's who's heading it up for the Democrat Party. I mean, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Exactly. Like the pizza looks good. Don't get me wrong, but like, but yeah, this inversion of reality has brought us into crisis, right? No, beautiful people are beautiful, ugly people are ugly, right? Purple-haired weirdos calling you Nazis are normally not good people, right? You're not on the right side of the history on this one, Russell. You look like a schmuck. Give it up. Give it up. That's right. By the way, universally hated. Even Mr. Trilby doesn't like it. It's calling out the bullshit, which I find quite. It's weird that we're being united at how awful this Doctor Who.
I mean, I disagree. I disagree with the. If you go back to that graphic there of what Will was saying, Mr. TARDIS was saying, I disagree with the end statement. He deserved so much better. No, Ncuti got everything he deserved. He got paid very, very well. He got a superb showcase for him to, in theory, demonstrate his talents on different levels. The material wasn't great, but a good actor, as we've seen before, particularly in this role, can polish most turds and can make an impact in this part.
This is a role that's designed to make you be beloved by the British public. All right,
but you see what I'm saying? He didn't actually deserve better. Ncuti sort of got his end of the deal was met. He got the pay, he got the material, he got the showcase, he got the opportunity. It's the viewers. The viewers deserved so much better than this. Yes. All of us, and the hardcore fan base even more so. You, me, you, and Mr. TARDIS even.
Yeah, I agree. It's a funny little infographic. How Ncuti didn't hit anything. Like again, everything after Capaldi is fanfic in my mind. It really is. Now here's the thing: by the time it comes back in 2027, the state of AI by that point will be radically different, and I think official made Doctor Who is going to be less and less relevant. And by here's how I think things are going to go with AI and genre entertainment in general, because you have Star Trek fans like to make their own Star Trek, things like that. Mm-hmm. And now again, you can do it's designed to do it from your desktop. The only way to survive is this. I remember this because I saw an ad from like the 1950s, a cinema ad saying, "Don't buy a TV. Oh, terrible little tiny things. Picture in the corner. Nobody wants it." The cinema was terrified of television. Was going to destroy the movie studios. And then they had the idea of making content for those for TV, right? And that's why you had all the like I Love Lucy and all those shows were made in the Hollywood studio system, right? Oh, okay, the only way that like big franchises are really going to survive this is by embracing it rather than trying to stamp them all out, right? I think they've all got to make their own platform where they have the AI tools that you could then use and build your own Doctor Who and post, or build your own Star Trek, or build your own thing and post it, and you post it only on their channel. You post it on their in
the way that you and I can join those dots from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, A to B to C to D. The BBC can't and won't do that because they are still struggling with the idea. Because to do that, to evolve in such a way, means they have to lose their funding model, and they will not give that.
Well, Farage is coming, all right, and I think a lot of change with it. Farage is totally coming, all right. I think he's just on the latest YouGov poll, on the aggregate poll of polls, all right. If the general election held today, the Tories would end up on 19 seats, right? And he gets like 317, which is a clear majority. He hasn't even started going after Labour yet, right? Again, really? It's not that it's just he's not awful like we've seen every other politician. And I think a big axe is coming to the BBC very, very soon. I hope this government falls. I don't see how it can. I don't see how it can't. But I think that is the light at the end of your tunnel.
Are you aware of the? I mean, this is going slightly off topic, but it lines up with what you were just saying. Are you aware of the huge cuts at ITV over the last week or so? The drastic cuts they've been making. So they're sort of devolving whole departments and rolling them into others. So the big productions like Good Morning Britain, their breakfast TV show, is now going to be made by the news department, by ITN. So that's all being rolled in. You've got shows like Loose Women, which is the View, basically, the View on British TV.
Right.
That is being slashed to sort of, I think, half its running time. It's been taken off for a great chunk of the year. Another morning show, it's the same deal. So gradually they're just bringing it all down, limiting it all, because all the money is drying up. We've got people from Coronation Street, high-profile people from Coronation Street, actually now saying publicly, old members of the cast, look, they've got no money anymore. We're expecting this week. So you're going to get the soaps dropping down. Say if a soap is on 4 times a week, you're going to get it dropped down to 3 or maybe even 2. So gradually, very, very slowly,
they're going to start making it with AI.
It's giving up a ghost.
That's what's going to happen. It's the only financially viable way to move forward for all these studios. They're going to start making it with AI, and once the first one does, they're all going to fall like dominoes. Really, because it's like, are you going to spend $100 million on a movie, or are you going to spend 2,000? Right, maximum. Right, that's the economics you're looking at. All right, it's so I think by the time it comes back, everything's going to change. I think what they've done is bought themselves like 6 months breathing room to make a plan and start to move forward, because they were decimated, absolutely decimated by this new. It fared much worse than they thought. The overnights did have an uptick last night. I think 2.17, which you do stunts for a reason. You do gimmicks for a reason, because people watch them.
Shooty, I mean, the problem from the very, very beginning, they shot themselves in the foot, not just by employing Shooty Gatwa, who has been miscast, maybe not, with a capital M rather than an all caps miscast, but he has been miscast. So casting Shooty was a mistake, but the second huge mistake there was in casting an actor, any actor, who technically wouldn't be available for much of the first block of your shooting time.
I put that down to his alleged diva antics, and I think there was quite a lot of that.
It never recovered from him being away during season 1 for a fortnight. So for the general public, they went for 3 weeks. 3 weeks where the Doctor himself just wasn't on screen.
He made zero impact in the role. Like, nobody would recognize it. So, okay, that's the other thing that I realized last night. There's a reason why you don't do a surprise regeneration on an unpopular Doctor that nobody really cares about. Because even though I couldn't care less that it was going, there was no emotion. There was no emotional build-up. And even with the Jodie one, there was, right? Because you knew it was coming, this was like, it was aimed to be this finale.
It was relief.
It was relief, but it was also like you knew it was gonna. It was like the focal point of the episode. This was so tacked on. This last 20 minutes was so confused and tacked on. The whole thing with Poppy made no sense. She was their daughter, then she's not their daughter. She's a Gallifreyan and not. I actually quite like their attempt at explaining bi-generation as a reaction to the sterility of the time. Although we've never heard of it before, right? You can't introduce something in the last act and go, "Oh, here's why," right? It was just a disaster on so many levels.
It was a complete disaster.
It's so clear this was not the plan, right? It's so clear. I think originally Susan was supposed to come. Susan was supposed to be the cliffhanger it ended on, where they're having that big party at UNIT at the end. That they released the picture from. Why would they release that picture? It's so stupid, it's beyond belief. Anyway, here's what we're not showing you because we screwed up. But
they released it because it featured a hot girl, and even they had to get to that position where they thought, let's just put as many pictures of as many pretty people up, because it's not like what's on screen in the episode is going to make any sense. So why would the publicity pictures need to? They think that nobody's. Because if you think about it, for most of the shows that they put out, except for the 3 or 4 that have this kind of army of dogged followers, they can put out promo images that may not feature in the show, and most of the audience is not going to say anything or barely even notice. it's not going to matter to them, or they just think it's some sort of promo image. Because obviously, the Doctor and Belinda, they didn't in the actual episode walk across the surface of that spherical planet and point up at the Earth. That didn't happen either. So
that was fine. That was like representative of Get Her
they
Home.
don't view. I don't think they view it as necessarily any different.
Yeah, I guess, but again, it's such insane lack of understanding about what this is you have, like what your franchise is. And again, Russell Lee Davies, I can't imagine they're not doing 2 more seasons. Right, they're not going up to 2021. Well, I would be amazed.
The reason why I find myself in the place that I am, I'm now disenfranchised for the most part, is because Doctor Who isn't what it once was. It is now the folly of an ideologically captured man, long past his best creative work, who is never told no by anybody at all.
Which is like one of the greatest failings for him whatsoever, isn't it? I mean, it's you need people to be honest with you, right? You need to
There've been worse episodes of Doctor Who made and broadcast than last night's, but that's worse in most ways. But the timing of this, the place in its history, the place that it's in means that this is probably, I think, something just simply being bad television, badly made, badly acted, and something just being absolutely shit. This trumps most of them as just being absolutely shit on a whole other level. It was a total disaster. And although I say I haven't spent much time on social media, so I haven't seen, there's 2 or 3 people who I won't name who they're not content creators or anything like that, but they're people who will endorse literally anything that Doctor Who does, anything at all. And sure enough, those 3 gentlemen are out today saying it's the best thing ever. Doctor Who's assured a bright future. Other than that, every fucker seems to hate it.
I think this is going to backfire massively, right? I think the Normans have totally seen through it. They've seen through it's emotional manipulation. It's stupid. It makes no sense, and it's past it. Doctor Who is so past its sell-by date now. Right, I think Normans are saying, let's get rid of this embarrassing trash. The Normans are where Michael Grade was in 1985, right? And he had a good reason to be there, quite frankly.
I've had 2 people reach out to me this morning, who are normies. One is a woman who asked me, "Is it true that Billy Piper's the new Doctor Who?" And the other one is a guy who used to be really quite into Doctor Who. I haven't heard from him for a few years, who's got in touch and said, "You must be in the garden burning all your Doctor Who books this morning."
Again, like for me, it's much easier because I can't compartmentalize this. And everything post 2017 is bad fanfic to me. But here, if you want a good example about how it's going down, here's a woman giving her, you see her live reaction. 1 second.
Okay.
I was saying, yeah, here it is. I'm pretty sure this is the one.
Oh no. It's actually like happening now. Please don't be the leak. Please don't be the leak. Please don't be the leak. Please. Please don't be the leak. Don't be the leak. Oh fuck.
Poor girl.
Oh, darling, we've been there many times ourselves.
How old would you say this young woman is? Say 23, 24? Probably grown up watching this show.
Yeah, like 25 max.
Obviously, she's a woman. She's the kind of person that the oafs at Bad Wolf and BBC Studios would think would love all of this.
Like, for real? Like...
Right. She's the audience they want.
Yeah.
And they have missed the mark. And they missed the mark by doing the same thing over and over again. Not doing what it is that the franchise is. Like, be Star Trek if you want people to like it. People like Star Trek, right? We are so in the same place as Star Trek right now and Doctor Who fandom.
We are now. We are.
Yeah, like with other, no sign of this letting up.
Chat, are we for real? What the fuck? I don't. Ugh. Come on, guys. Come on. Why? Why? Like, why?
See, she's reaching for an answer, for a positivity.
I'm gonna be honest. When it happens,
consolation.
I'm gonna probably be really excited, but I just no.
And look, honestly, I mean, the rumor is that Moffat's writing the Christmas special. Look, Russell, I remember in the classic in his first run, he said, "Oh, Mark, we have Christmas special with one-time only companions." Right? That was his. He had Astrid, Peth, Kylie Minogue. They had Catherine Tate was supposed to be that. Right, so I think this is a one-time only Doctor for a Christmas special. While they again scramble and try and work out, they have to carve out a path for the future. And they again, I think they have an idea what they want to do, but it's really dependent on who they cast. No, they may do good Doctor Who. I mean, this series has been markedly better than the last one.
You know me, I'm Mr. Positive. They may do good Doctor Who. I have to say, for the first time, no.
It's all about getting into reality that most people are straight, right? And most people really don't want to talk about their sexuality constantly with everyone, right? It's one thing
they can't put aside that content and that dialogue and that worldview, even so much as for a single week. We're always going to be locked into the same kind of hold that we are now, as long as that Pratt is still running the show.
I wish I understood how self-defeating it is, right? It's look, the reason why there is a lot of pushback to the trans world is because there's so much visibility to it, frankly, right? We need a bit of a look. Again, most people are kind of weirded out by this. Here, let me show you this clip, which actually goes on longer than I showed you the other day. You know what I was showing you? Who is the audience of this weirdo Doctor Who? And I pulled two. I'm thinking of this. Hang on. Where did I? Oh, here we go. So it starts off. Yeah, this is very much like the people that they are the resistance in Wish World. But then it quickly goes on this. This is degenerate shit. Leave us alone. And this is no, this is totally. And look how fucking many of them are. No, you shouldn't be proud to wear this in the street. You should be ashamed. Yes, I agree. Yeah, and I'm not saying you're a terrible person if you're a weirdo puppy mask person. I'm just saying this is something for the privacy of privacy of adults. Oh look, here come the first.
And look where they are as well. That's Birmingham Pride. The other day, I saw people getting on the train for this. Look at that. Oh, I won't say it.
Is that live and let live, but can you let us live and let live as well? But no. Anyway, so I know. I think the next choice after I'm sure Catherine Tate was above the list than Billie Piper, positive, and I think Free Rat would have been the next one they asked.
They'd already brought Catherine Tate back. As I understand it, Billie was the big kind of was the big Doctor Who name, and there are certain reasons.
I can understand that from a more on television executive point of view, right? They're just so stupid. It's beyond me. Yet how many levels of stupid? Having Jodie Whittaker in it for no reason whatsoever. It was literally no reason whatsoever, just to say fuck you. Anybody who hated it, which was all of us. I'm sorry. It wasn't a small fringe bit of fandom. Now she's gone, we're all like, oh, that was awful, right? I mean, and now people, as some time has passed, people are pretending it wasn't that bad. No, it was absolutely awful.
The reappearance of the Whittaker Doctor, that's such again shooting themselves in the foot, because a great many the people who would see that and remember her will think, Christ, they'll think, oh, it's her. I think, oh, she hasn't. When did she play the part? And they'll be in their heads. They'll be thinking, God, she was bad. So was he. And they'll be thinking, God, when was the last time this show was good? And eventually they'll realise it's been the best part of 10 years. And they'll make a mental note,
Which a lot of people have. So anyway, again, the ratings got an uptick. They're at 2.17, which I think might be the highest of the season. Wait, what was higher, that or the internet? Let me see if I can pull them up. Hang on. Doctor Who rating.
Well, a lot of people saw last week's. Last week's did quite well too.
But that got 1.8. It wasn't like this. Hang on.
It did end on a cliffhanger, and there was a certain proportion of paper talk. Not exactly, again, not heightening expectation as such, but signposting the idea that perhaps there would be something memorable for one reason or another happening in this one. So that could have helped.
Right, but again, that they didn't announce a regeneration, I think made it fall flat to a great extent. Now, here we look at the ratings. The disinterest in Doctor Who. It was, we've gone between 1.5 and 2. We got 2.57 because when it was like right in between Eurovision and the FA Cup, and then down again. 2.17. I guess people heard that Billy Piper returned and they watched it on iPlayer, and you got an extra few 100,000 people watching the last 2 minutes because they didn't watch the full hour and 6 minutes.
But it wouldn't count. It wouldn't count anyway. iPlayer doesn't count in the overnight ratings.
I thought you told me it did.
No, it doesn't.
I thought you told me the exact opposite. That's what I've been going off for ages.
No, the pause. When people, for example, are watching live TV on Sky Plus boxes or TiVo boxes, and somebody knocks the door, or the kettle boils, and they put it on pause for 5 minutes, then come back in and unpause live TV. That counts, but actual sort of people going directly to iPlayer for a totally cold watch, they don't. Those figures don't count. So that's the difference.
I did not know. That is interesting. I really honestly didn't know that. So that thing being the case, I think this could end up probably one of the highest rated episodes of the season. It's going to be under 4. That's the thing. Even the highest rated episode is going to be under 4 million, which is kind of pathetic.
It's because the content, as I've been saying throughout, I was saying this before the season even started, because they cocked up the Christmas special, the content of any of these episodes, the actual creative worth of them, their tone, their themes, the kind of story they were, any standout guest, none of it made any difference, because before the season started, the mainstream audience had made up their minds they weren't interested in this show anymore. That was the last chance that they had to grab them. Christmas just gone, and they fluffed it. I've seen nothing in these figures to make me think otherwise.
They got the hook for the next one is Billy Piper and who's going to be the new Doctor.
Do you care?
No, I don't, but I'm saying that's the hook they're going to sell it with.
And if you and I don't care, nobody else will.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, like you'll have the tabloids will be like, oh yeah.
Sincerely, if they announce somebody tomorrow, I'd cover it. I'll talk about it, but I don't care.
Yeah,
so I really don't give a shit now at all.
I felt that way since Arachnids in the UK. Right, but when we hit Arachnids in the UK, I said there's no coming back from this. Right, and then Russell E. Davies came back, and we thought, oh, we're saved. But not. Brian Being says BBC apparently said they'll be happy with Doctor Who got a 4 million on the 28-day consolidated. I don't think I'll get that on average. It might do, but here's what they've done. They drove away the audience for pretty much everything. And they keep saying the audience have changed. Viewing habits say, no, viewing habits are exactly the same. If you make shit, people will not want to watch it. It doesn't matter what logo you put on that shit, right? Eventually they'll work out, oh no, that logo means shit now, right? And they won't want to watch it. If you make shit, no one's interested. That has not changed.
With the average TV show, and I think this is the same actually it's probably quicker in the States, but in Britain, I think you've got that window where if you they'll forgive, for example, a show like Silent Witness, they make a bad season or even 2 seasons that underperform and that are bad. they'll give them a couple of years grace before they pull the plug and a series disappears. But Doctor Who, being a cultural institution, gets more indulgent than most. How many bad seasons of Doctor Who have now been broadcast consecutively? We're looking at 5. 5.
Oh, I think more than that. You have Jodie 1, right? You have Jodie 1, 2,
Jodie
3.
2.
Yeah, Jodie 1, 2, the Flux and those ones. And then you have the specials, which I don't know, the specials were probably the best of all of them, only because David Tennant was in them. And then you got 5. You know what? I just did the math. 3 + 2 = 5. They're incredible. This is why I'm not an accountant.
Because the 60th anniversary specials, they exist even though they connect both eras, sort of, they do exist in a kind of bubble slightly off to the side. I don't include them because even though they were technically a series, because the 3 episodes aired one week after the other, it was all over within a fortnight, and they were billed as an event for the anniversary. All of these things were billed and promoted and produced as full seasons. So yeah, I don't include them. I think it's 5 consecutive seasons over an nearly 8-year period.
Yeah, where people know Doctor Who. It's an embarrassing show.
That's the entire lifespan of the Tom Baker era of Doctor Who. That is the equivalent of putting out 7 years of The Next Generation and it all being awful. So
there's only so much you could really do.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they'd be
banging away at it and sharing the nation with shit and expect them to just keep wiping it off their faces and go, okay, we'll go again, we'll go again.
I think this time, this is what I was looking for. I think this time the viewing public have finally seen through it, right? I'm getting headlines like this: the reality war, creatively bankrupt, and it is, right?
I love that. No fat on that at all.
No, I mean, but again, this is Normie Media. Normie Media saying, no more, please. Right? I think this is really backfiring on them big time. What's the headline?
Take it off.
Goodbye, Shooting Out. Well, hello, Billy Piper, assuming the show survives. 2.5 out of 5. That is not a...
it's not a great endorsement, is it?
Let's see what the comments are. Just log in. Makes me glad I stopped watching in the 80s. Well, okay.
Wow. Nice.
Fab, the show was missing. What the show was missing was progressive woke messaging. I hope this fixes allows Doctor Who to be a vehicle for everything trans, illegal immigrants, pro-pan, mass political correctness. Well, it probably will. Doctor Who says, yeah, look, it's done very badly. Right? It's like, and then again, the normie world is like, no, goodbye. Absolute train wreck. Doctor Who fans react to season finale with Billy Piper surprise. Oh,
surprise!
Man.
Yeah, you're shit.
And the parodies have been great. Here, let me show you this parody. Where is it? Doink.
You're not going to show me a picture of Shooting Out with regenerating into Tharis, are you? Oh.
What did she say at the end?
Hello.
Yeah, this is what we all look like.
It's all changed. We're free.
Are we?
Yes.
What should we do?
Dunno.
See, even Vigil and Varos knocks the writing out of it, right?
But that reaction is absolutely right, because yes, they may make more of this, but there was a sense of finality to that episode last night.
Yeah.
And even more so with that final scene, because you think, yeah, it's all spent. There's nowhere left to go. Just to be purposefully more absurd. If you did bring it back, it's just going to be an even quicker momentum of lead actors changing and gimmick after gimmick until it's just absurdity after absurdity after absurdity.
Like, whoever they cast next, I mean, as long as they shoot the 16 episodes back to back, he'll be it for 2 years. Well, that's what they got to do. Russell D. Davis actually, came out for a comment about this very recently. Yes, we love AI.
That's nice.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's gone down very, very badly. I don't think it's worked out well at all. I don't think.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, although who knows? I'm assuming Billy Piper is on the cover of the next Doctor Who magazine.
I would imagine so. It's out in about 2 weeks, isn't it?
Comic strip, though.
Well, who cares?
I'm just intrigued, right? I don't know because
I'm
are
all
they going to have a
flux to
Billy
give.
Piper-led comic for the next 2 years, 2.5 years? But she's going to be the Doctor for one episode, literally.
Well, I've got nothing. I just don't care.
At least she's a girl. So fine, listen, can we have a quick watch along of the actual moment of regeneration? Because in case you haven't seen it, well, you've seen it. Here it is, Doink. And there was actually one moment in it which I thought was iconically good Doctor Who for shooting Gatwa, which is when he was on his little rocket sled thing, or the Rana's rocket sled thing, flying around. They had the right music for it that time. But I don't know. Again,
The 15th Doctor's theme.
Saying, I'm the future. No, you're not, mate.
The 15th Doctor's theme is a great piece of music from Murray Gold. Really, really great.
Gone forever. Never going to see that again. See, there's no build up to this because nobody gives a shit about this character, right? It's not sad that he's moving on, and they only introduced he's moving on 5 minutes ago.
Look how
for no reason.
Look how vacant he looks. He's got no idea what he's doing or why he's listening. You can practically see in his peripheral vision the director going, "Okay, now do this, now do that." Walking him, talking him through, because he's got no idea. He's thinking, I might get on the train for 5:45 if I'm lucky. And he's died out by this point.
Yes. It's sad, and we're keeping the bloody TARDIS. I hate this TARDIS.
Don't want to do this alone.
Oh, go away. But why is he can't smile without looking smug? Right? I don't know. There's just nothing I can relate to him at all about.
He's not allowed to be shown to be in pain. Have you noticed?
No. Right. Only
or scared.
Yeah. There's just nothing relatable with this Doctor. I kind of like this effect as they turned all the lights off as he left.
He's not allowed to be wounded even.
Right. Again, he's just allowed to cry.
I'm never alone with you.
Again, I hope they have somebody who has a little bit of strength to his voice, because they didn't hear with Shooty. Oh, and again, the callback to Joys of the World. This all seems like it was written at the last minute on napkins to me. Right, I think the ending of Survival was less hastily put together.
Joy to the world!
He's such a wanker.
Yeah, but again, there was more emotion with Jodie Whittaker, who I absolutely hated. Right, there really was, because look, the difference between her and Jodie, there's several differences between him and Jodie Whittaker. One, she's just a terrible actress, but she really invested in the role. She loved being in the role, even though she was awful at it. He couldn't give two shits about the role. All he cared about was shooting at work. Right? She loved being in the role, and she was awful.
And that is exactly the word. This has been an absolute joy.
Not for me, mate. Not for it's been like having a fish shoved up your ass. And again, what his regeneration is blowjob face, right? Really, he's getting a blowy. He's like, oh right, I'll play it that way. And I think this regeneration shit just annoys me. It's stupid now. they dragged it out for too long as well. Then 2 months later. Wait, did her clothes change?
No. So that is the Doctor's biological form.
Yeah,
Otherwise, the clothes would have
Now, it
changed.
might just be mimicking Rose for some reason temporarily, or what? Who gives a shit?
I just don't care. Because if you it'll all be, you think how much absolute mumbo jumbo nonsense and sort of sleight of hand there was in that episode last night. All those little scenes from the previous episodes that were snipped out of, I've got to get back to Poppy. I've got to back. You know, if they're not showing us portions of the story, think, well, you know, I've got to speculate about where this could go. They could hold back entire scene. I just don't care the way this show is made, the way it's written, the way it's marketed, the way it is promoted, the way that they speak to us. The connection's just totally broken. It's just gone. I don't use that hashtag RIP Doctor Who, and I don't use that expression Doctor Who is dead lightly. But I do know that I feel nothing now. I feel completely detached from whatever this is that's going on, and I've no idea who they sincerely think that it's for. Russell might think.
I've shown you the video.
Russell might think, oh, I've got away with it, you know, and I've got away with it again, darling, and all this sort of stuff, and goes off to try and attract Amazon or whoever he's going to try and sort of hoodwink into coughing up to fund more of this shit. But it's just all of this is just bollocks. It's absolute bollocks. It's not. It's barely even worth speculating about.
I find the chances of him backing down from his insane politics to be very low. Very, very low.
He's completely captured, and he's a massive far leftist. So yeah, he and his acolytes have got control of a cultural institution, and they never give them up. So unless they have to be forcibly ejected, and nobody's willing to do that.
Again, you see what happened to the comic book industry. It went from a niche industry to how it's. Nobody knows how it's still running. Frankly, I mean, they don't really have any distribution anymore. They have to use other services. It's just on its ass. It's done. Like nobody. You remember going to comic book store was a thing. People don't do it anymore. They go to get Magic the Gathering cards instead and have tournaments there.
Yeah.
Manga does well, right? For good reason. Right? It's not shit. Nigel Farage is Doctor Who's only hope. But that's really true, right? That is really true. I don't know. Anyway, do you have any? I'm going to sign off anyway. Any predictions for the future?
Well, I've got a jacket potato for
yes. Well, that's going on. I look forward to
there's that. If you're talking about Doctor Who predictions, no.
I just really see this. I think this is going to hurt sales of everything. I think it's going to hurt Big Finish. I think it's going to hurt Doctor Who magazine. Just like it's strangling the life and interest out of Doctor Who.
By the end of the year, the few remaining licensees that there are will be powering away from this.
Well, Big Finish is with them until 2030. I don't see Panini giving up there. I think there'll be always somebody who takes a license for Doctor Who magazine. I think Character Options does well on the classics, and I think the Blu-ray sets will continue to do well. But it's done, right? It's done. What when Doctor Who shuts down? No more favorite rabbi. It says Richard Rothery. No, as I said, Doctor, we're going to have AI really, really soon. The technology is there. I think we're months away. By 2027, we'll have way better Christmas.
You won't know whether you'll be listening to the real rabbi or your AI avatar.
My AI avatar, which will even be more lecherous than me. Anyway, speaking of lecherous, I've got to get ready for the holy day of the Jewish holiday. Are you when you on again? You on Monday?
Monday. Blimey. Yeah, so that's tomorrow from 8 p.m. Monday and Thursday, 8 p.m. with Type 40 Live. As ever, catch up. We're going to find out what some of the other regulars have got to say, the people who couldn't make the instant reaction stream. So
I'm
that
really
should be
interested
worth
here.
watching.
If you ever get Luke on, because he's very like into this era, right? Into this.
Luke's back. Luke is still in Belgium right now, but he says he's going to be back for the show tomorrow. In the meantime, go and catch up with. Now I recorded this a week or so ago.
I watched this today. It was very good.
So yeah, go and see what I've got to say there about Dr. Billy, about the batshit pick as I describe it. And so obviously this was recorded before everything that was actually on screen, but I don't think it changes the crux of my argument at all. But yeah, please let me know. Let me know what you think.
But I did mention it when I spoke to you last night. I just finished Dr. Alex's season 14.
Oh
right?
yeah.
He did something in there which I thought was brilliant. He gave them a way to make Doctor Who a female character and have it work, right? Because so at the end of the thing, there's basically an end to the character, but before he goes, he gives the TARDIS to Susan, right? And an older Susan. As universe needs a doctor, and you have to be the doctor, right? So I was thinking, an older Carol Ann Ford as a crotchety old grandmother with her grandson in the TARDIS, right? And they end up with two school teachers. That's a way to really start and reboot and have it be authentically Doctor Who and female, right? Without it being totally different.
Well, before they brought Tennant back for the 60th anniversary specials, again, I said on the Type 40 that realistically, that Carol Ann Ford should have led those anniversary specials. Yeah, she was pushing 80 at the time.
But they could have. Her as a Hartnell West Doctor would have been perfect.
It would have worked for an event series built around the 60th anniversary, surrounded with people who are obviously more physically capable of running around and doing this, that, and the other. But it would have worked very beautifully. But of course, it wouldn't have been the ideal format for the kind of stories. I mean, that Russell T Davies and the kind of statements that he wants to make, which are actually nothing to do with legacy anymore.
Again,
unity.
It would have been harder to work butt plugs into the narrative with Carol Ann Ford, whereas Shooty comes naturally, as I hear he does quite often. Anyway, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we truly got the hand job of Omega tonight, and not in a good way. Last night, I should say. I'm back. Dan's back tomorrow. I'm back tomorrow. Tuesday. And we're all over this, baby. We're like white on rice. Anyway, with that, I'm going to hit the end broadcast button. I'm going to hit it again. Say good.